Hey guys, it's Nick with Northwest Open Season, and today I'm going to show you how to tie spawn sacks for West Coast style steelhead fishing. Check it out. Okay, so this is pretty easy to do, and you don't need very much stuff to do it, okay? So spawn sacks are really popular on the East Coast, and not a lot of guys are doing them over here, but I started using them, and I've had some good success, and I like how they fish, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, and I'll show you also how I set those up. Right now I'm going to show you how to actually tie one. Okay, so this is pretty easy. You just need this spawn net. Okay, either comes in rolls or it comes in these squares. You just need some kind of magic thread. I don't think it really matters what color it is. There's tons of different kinds, as long as it's stretchy and you can tie off with it. Okay, there are spawn sack making tools. I don't even use one. You can use one if you have it, or if you want, you think that's easier, then go for it. Okay. So this stuff comes in pre-cut squares, which will work just fine because for steelhead I'm not making very big ones anyway. So I like to just buy these pre-cured single eggs. There's a lot of different kinds. The only kind I've ever tried is the Pautzke balls of fire. And the only reason I bother these is because these are the ones I've fished since I was a kid, and so I'm familiar with them. And so figure if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So anyway, this is what I'm going to use. You can use your own favorite kind if you want. So you're going to open it up. I just use the end of my, these are like kid scissors. These are what I use for normally cutting roe. These will work just fine. You're just going to gently roll a couple out onto your netting. Doesn't have to be very many. Okay guys, so that's about 15 single eggs. Okay, and all you're going to do, you're going to roll these up corner to corner like that. Kind of scrunch it down so you get all the end pushed up in towards your fingers. You're just going to take your stretchy thread, hold it with your thumb, okay, and just wrap right around the end of your fingers a few times. Then you're going to tie a half hitch. Just go right around the spawn sack, pull it tight, just pull it so it snaps, okay? Just shuts it off just like that. Then just cut off the excess. There you go. Got a perfect little spawn sack, okay? I didn't need a tool, I didn't need anything special. That's all I did. Then I have one of these extra jars, and I got a few in there already. So I just throw that in, okay, and I can end up putting, you know, a dozen of them in here in this tiny little jar. And that's it, you guys. That's how easy it is to make these little spawn sacks, okay? And this is why I prefer to fish them. A lot of guys will talk about all these different cures and flavors and scents that you need to use while you're fishing. Always have, you know, 5 or 6 different cures with you, okay? That's what they always say. Well now, instead of taking 5 or 6 different jars of eggs with me every time I go down on the river, now I can take this tiny little jar that's got about, I don't know, a dozen to 15 of these little spawn sacks, and I can keep that in my backpack. So then I can take these scents with me. I can take all the scents I want, and it's a lot easier to pack these different scents with me down on the river than it is to take a bunch of jars of eggs. So I just pull one of these things out. Alright, so I like to bead fish is what I do. Alright guys, so here's my bead setup. Fish, I got my my sliding bobber. Got that set up, and check out the other videos. I'll show you how to set up that sliding bobber and the bead. Anyway, so I like to fish this. several times, maybe 12 to 20 times through a run that I like. And if nothing happens, then I'll just push open this egg loop. I'll throw one of these spawn sacs in there, and then I'll just drop this bead right down on top of the spawn sac. All right, you see that? So I got a spawn sac and I got a UV bead on top of it. All right, it's the best of both worlds, especially for winter steelhead. And that's super easy, you guys. This thing will fish, I don't know how many casts, but they'll fish seemingly forever until you actually get a fish or you bump it on the bottom or a snag or something too many times, okay? So you can fish that just like that, or you can put scent on it. I like to use, this is probably my go-to, it's Mike's Extra Strength Sand Shrimp Oil Glow Scent, okay? That's the stuff that I typically will just douse that spawn sac with, and I'll keep fishing that. This is also one of my favorites. This is Procure Anise Krill Super Gel. That works pretty good. And then I have Mike's UV Super Scent Garlic. Okay, that's another one I like to use. It's probably my third favorite. I also like this one for trout a lot too. Another thing that you can do, and a lot of guys on the East Coast, they do this. They just actually hook the spawn sac itself and fish it just like that. Okay, so if you want to do that, you can use I like to use a bait button. So you can pull a bait button out here and hook that, and that'll keep it up towards the top of the shank, keep the hook exposed. Then, like I did before, you just push that bead right down on top of it. You see that? Alright guys, that's it. That's easy. Check out our other videos on how to set up for steelhead, and get out there, and I hope you catch one. Alright you guys, take care.